Okay, we are recording, so we can share this information with our whole patient community. So thank you guys all for being here. Like I said, I just went over some of the technical aspects of the best way to see and hear what we're going to talk about tonight. So I will go ahead and unless someone has questions, we'll go ahead and move over to our movement piece, which that's part of what we created with these classes is a movement piece. So tonight our movement instructor is Kitty Schaller, and you can see her there up there with her cute little dog. So I'm going to let Kitty introduce herself and tell us all about her classes and everything that she offers. But I'll just tell you that Kitty is a dear friend of mine. She became my yoga instructor at Descanso Gardens going back something like 8 years now or something crazy like that. So it's an honor to have her here to take us on a little yoga journey before we start. And then Kelly will jump in with our kind of topic for tonight that goes along with greens and their power. And then I'm going to do some really practical stuff. You guys can't see this, but I have like my entire produce drawer over here ready to chat about. So lots of cool stuff coming. And then we'll end with a little internal practice and then Q&A. So that is the outline for tonight. So go ahead and everyone put yourselves on mute. As you can see, Kitty's on the floor. So we are going to do yoga on the floor. And if for whatever reason you can't, hopefully you can still see your screen from some kind of a seated position. And we will take it from there. So go ahead, Kitty, and take it away.
All right, great. So you can hear me, right? Tracy? Yes. Okay. So I am a certified yoga instructor. I teach at Descanso Gardens, although they're closed now. But I'll be back there when they reopen. I also teach at the Y in La Cañada. And tonight I'm going to focus on yoga for relaxation and stretching mainly. A lot of us have been sitting more than we're used to. We haven't been moving as much as we're used to. And we've also had more stress than we've probably ever had before. So I want to just focus on stretching things out and relaxing everybody for about 20 minutes. I'm going to start my timer just so I don't go over. So what I'd like you to do is come to a comfortable seated position. And if you're in a chair, that's fine. But if you're down on the mat, I want you to think about being forward on your sit bones. And then think about reaching the top of your head up towards the ceiling. And we want to keep our shoulders relaxed. So you want to draw your shoulders up towards your ears and then roll them down your back a couple of times. From there, the hands can rest on the thighs or down on the mat. We want to bring the chin so it's parallel to the floor and the neck stays long. We're going to start by taking a deep breath in through our nose and exhaling out through the nose or through the mouth. Do that again. See if you can feel your belly expanding and your chest lifting. You may even want to put your hands on your belly and your chest. And then as you exhale, you'll feel your chest fall and your belly soften. And we'll do it again. Nice deep breath in, always in through the nose to warm and clean the air for your body. You can exhale out the nose or the mouth, whatever feels best. And as we do this slow, deep breathing, we're not only boosting our immunity, but we're also letting go of tension. We're helping to ease any anxiety we may be feeling. This slow, deep breathing can lower your blood pressure. It can slow your heart rate. So we're going to stay here for a few more breaths. Feel free to close your eyes if you like and just stay focused on your own slow, deep breathing. We're trying to fill our lungs from the bottom to the top. Then we're exhaling out all that stale air we don't need from the top to the bottom. So nice, deep cleansing breaths and then complete exhalations. Let's stay here for 3 more slow, deep breaths. All right, take 1 more deep breath in, and this time when you exhale, go ahead and let your chin fall towards your chest. We're going to interlace our hands behind our back and rest them on the mat. And then we're going to draw our chin over towards our right shoulder and bring it slowly up and around and drop it towards the left shoulder. And do that again, but this time out of breath. So inhale as you lift your chin, and then exhale as you slowly drop it down to the other side. Around one more time, that same way. And then let your head hang heavy towards your chest, soften your face, and we'll reverse direction. So chin draws towards the left shoulder. Now you're going to go slowly up and around. Drop it back down towards the right. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Last time around. All right, let your head hang heavy. Release your hands from behind your back and then slowly bring your head back up. And now we're going to drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. Go ahead and extend that right arm out with the palm up and place your fingertips just above your left ear. And then gently guide your ear towards your shoulder. You can stay right here or you can deepen this stretch by walking the fingers of the left hand away from your body or drawing your elbow in with your palm up. And then if you'd like, you can rock gently from side to side. Eyes can be open or closed, bringing movement to the area that you're stretching. All right, and then go ahead and release and we'll go on to the other side. So drop the left ear towards the left shoulder and bring that left arm out with the palm up. Place the fingertips just above the right ear, guiding that ear towards your shoulder. Again, you can stay here or walk the fingers of the right hand away or draw your elbow in with the palm up. And you can also bring movement to that area by rocking gently from side to side. Good. Go ahead and release your hands. Bring your head back up through the center. If you're sitting in a cross seat, let's switch out which leg we had in front so we keep our hips evenly open. And we're going to bring our arms out in front of us with the palms facing each other. And inhale, really wide here, drawing the shoulder blades in toward each other. Really open your arms wide. And then when you exhale, give yourself a hug. Move your shoulder blades away from each other. I don't know about you guys, but I really miss hugging friends. And so you can at least hug yourself and your family and your pets. All right, let's do it again. Inhale, open really wide and stretch. Exhale, give yourself a hug with the opposite arm on top. Move the shoulder blades away from each other. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, open and stretch the chest. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. Move the shoulder blades away to stretch the upper back. Okay, good. 1 more time. Inhale, open and stretch. Exhale, hug, move the shoulder blades away. Okay, now release the arms down and draw the shoulders up towards the ears and roll them down your back. So it's going to be a nice exaggerated movement to release tension from the shoulders. And then go the opposite direction. All right, let's plant our right hand next to our right hip. We're going to inhale and reach up with our left arm. Maybe I should back up so you can see me more. And then we're going to exhale and reach across the body as we slide that right hand out. And inhale, look up towards the forearm. And then exhale, look down towards your right hand. So you're getting a nice side body stretch here and stretching the neck. We're going to come up and do the same thing on the other side. So plant the left hand down. Inhale, reach up with the right arm, lining it up with your ear. Exhale, slide that left hand out, reach that right arm across. And then inhale, look up towards your forearm. And exhale, look down towards your hand. Good. Come back up through the center. All right, let's stretch out our feet a little bit. Our feet do get tight in our shoes, walking around all day. So you're going to extend your legs out in front of you and separate your legs a little wider than your hips. And then we're going to draw our big toes in toward each other and circle them away. So you're going to do that 3 times. All right, and then reverse. Okay, bring your feet to neutral. Now you're going to flex your feet and draw your big toes in towards your shins, and then point your toes, extend them away. Good, do that again. Flex, really draw them in, point, extend. One more time, flex and point. Now bring your feet back to neutral. You're going to squeeze your toes in as if you were making them into fists, and then separate them out as wide as you can. Good, do that again. Our feet do get really tight and we don't realize that we don't take good care of them. Stretch them out. One more time, squeeze them in. Okay, stretch them out. Then just wiggle your feet around a little bit. Let everything loosen up. Okay, back to any comfortable seat. It doesn't have to be this cross seat. It can be one leg out front, one leg tucked in, or legs to the side. Let's stretch the wrists out. So hands come straight in front of us with the fingertips pointed towards the ceiling. Good, and then you're going to drop your fingertips down to the ground. And do it again, fingers up and hands flexed. Good, and fingers down. Okay, one more time, up and down. And then release and just circle the wrists around a couple of times and reverse. Okay, we're going to move to a seated cat pose. So I'll turn sideways so you can see me. Seated cat is a great way to stretch the back, and especially if you have tender wrists or tender knees, but also if you ever do something where you tweak your back a little bit, like you're picking up the vacuum cleaner in the wrong way, it's a great gentle back stretch. So we start with our feet about hip distance apart and the hands go to our shins. We're going to inhale and sit up tall, lifting the chin to gaze up towards the ceiling. And then exhale and lean back and round your back, drop your chin to your chest. And do that again. Inhale, sit up really tall, elongate the neck as you gaze up. Exhale, round down, drop the chin to the chest. Two more that same way. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round down and contract. All right, one last time. Round down, now stay here and just rock a little bit, side to side. And then come up through the center and we're going to move into cobbler's pose. So for cobbler's pose, we bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall open. You can adjust for comfort. For some people, it feels better to have the feet further out or even separated. If you're very flexible, you might be able to bring your heels in towards your sit bones. We'll start with our hands around our ankles and take a nice deep breath in, sit up tall. And then exhale, bend forward with a flat back. You can use your elbows to gently press against your inner thighs, and then just relax your head and hold here. If you want to intensify the stretch, you can walk your hands out in front of you. That's going to give you a deeper inner thigh stretch. And again, hold. All right, let's walk the hands back in. And we're going to come down onto our backs for a couple of stretches. So we want to grab the back of our thighs and roll down onto our back, relaxing everything. Relax your head, relax your shoulders, and just rock gently from side to side here. So you want to give yourself a nice little back massage. And then go ahead and lower your feet to the ground. I guess the dog is done with yoga. Okay, now take your right ankle and cross it just above your left knee. We're going into a reclining pigeon pose, which is a great hip opener. You're going to take your right arm and reach through the opening you've created and grab the back of your left thigh. Flexing both feet, you can draw that thigh in towards your torso to deepen the hip stretch here. You can also use your right elbow to gently push your right thigh away. And if you'd like, you can rock side to side to bring movement to that area that you're stretching. So really important to keep our hips stretched and open because sometimes tight hips can lead to low back pain. Good, go ahead and lower the left foot down and we'll switch sides, crossing the left ankle just above the right knee. Grab the back of that right thigh, flex both feet, draw the right thigh in towards your torso. And again, you can use your left elbow to push the left thigh away to deepen the hip opening. And you have the option to rock side to side here if you'd like. All right, lowering the right foot down, unwind and lower the left foot down. And we're going to do just a little bit of ab work to keep our core strong. So we'll bring our hands behind our heads and lightly support our heads to go into some slow crunches. We're only doing 10, but we're doing them slow so we actually get the benefit. So inhale as you're here on the ground, and then exhale as you slowly curl your head and shoulders up to look towards your thighs. And then lower back down again and inhale. And exhale, slowly curl up. It's a really focused movement. So go nice and slow. And get the most benefit. All right, just 5 more. Good, lower everything down. And we're going to take our right arm across our body towards our left shoulder and bring our left hand at the back of our elbow and hug that arm in. So you're getting a nice stretch for your shoulder area, and you might feel it a little in your triceps as well. And now switch sides, draw the left arm across with the right hand at the back of the elbow and hold. And release. And bring your arms alongside your body, at least 1.5 feet away with the palms up. We're going to walk our feet out a little bit so they're wider than our hips, and we're moving into an easy reclining twist. So you'll let your knees fall to the right and very gently turn your head to the left and hold. If you'd like a deeper twist, you can stack your right foot on top of your left knee. That will deepen the twist. If that doesn't feel good, take it right off and just go back to the original position. Then bring the knees back through the center, keeping the feet wide. Go ahead and drop the knees to the left. Turn the head to the right. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Twists are said to help release tension, help with digestion, and they can help even out both sides of the body. Again, if you want a deeper twist, just stack your left foot on top of your right knee. All right, let's bring the knees back through the center. I'm going to give you the option to either grab the back of your thighs and rock up to a seated position, or you can roll to your right side and push yourself up. So do whatever feels best to you. And then once you're up, just find any comfortable seated position that you would like. All right, so we're going to close tonight with a breathing exercise and then an exercise to relax when we're feeling especially stressed. This breathing exercise is called the 4-7-8 breath. And what I'd like you to do is start by just putting your tongue at the back of your 2 front teeth. That's going to help relax your jaw. A lot of us clench our jaws without even realizing it. So we'll start with the tongue at the back of the 2 front teeth, and then we're going to inhale through our nose for a count of 4, hold the air for a count of 7, exhale out the mouth with a whooshing sound for a count of 8. So this breath can be used if you're having trouble falling asleep at night, if you're just feeling very stressed out during your day. By keeping the exhalation twice as long as the inhalation, you're going to signal to your body that it's okay to relax. And your lungs actually communicate with your brain. So if you're taking nice, slow, deep breaths, that's telling your body, hey, everything's okay. You can get out of that fight or flight mode. So try to remember to do any type of slow breathing exercises during your day to help relax your body and benefit your health. Okay, here we go. Tongue at the back of the 2 front teeth. Nice deep breath in for a count of 4 through the nose. And then retain that air for a count of 7. And exhale out the mouth for a count of 8. And we'll do it again. Deep breath in through the nose for 4. Hold that air now for a count of 7. Exhale out the mouth for 8. Do that one more time. Nice deep breath in for a count of 4. Retain that air now for a count of 7. And exhale out the mouth for a count of 8. All right. Now, you can do this last exercise with your eyes open or closed. It's a little more beneficial if your eyes are closed. We still want the tongue at the back of the 2 front teeth to relax the jaw. And this, again, you can do during the day when you're starting to feel a little tense. Maybe you're at your desk and you just need a break. So with the eyes softly closed, I want you to think about relaxing any tension you feel running across your forehead and out to your temples. So just let that area soften. And then let your eyes just relax in their sockets. There's nothing to focus on for the next minute or 2. Soften the cheeks. Let your jaw release by opening and closing it a few times. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And do that again. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And slowly open your eyes. And we'll take one more deep breath in, reaching both arms up above our head, bringing our palms together. We're going to exhale our hands to our heart. All right, thank you all for doing yoga with me. Hope you have a great sleep tonight after doing yoga. And now stay tuned for Tracy's.
Thank you, Kitty. That was amazing. Thank you so much. All right, so we have a few newcomers. Thank you all for being here. It looks like almost all of you are on mute, which is perfect. We're gonna move into the greens content, starting with Kelly. I'll introduce myself for those that may not know me. I am Tracy Leventhal, the holistic health coach at Oasis, and I love these events. I love bringing everyone together. I love sharing our stories and supporting one another. This whole idea came about with the goal of creating community, and just seeing so many of you on the screen tonight just warms my heart. So thank you for being here, and I will turn it over to Kelly to start in with our content for tonight.
Awesome. So lots of new faces, which is amazing. And I am the nurse practitioner at Oasis Family Medicine. I joined the practice just a little over a year ago. So I am one of the providers there. I am seeing patients. I am working patients up for a variety of illnesses, whatever ailments or symptoms they're coming in with. And I work with Dr. Yoshi Ram and Dr. Ann Kuo, and Trace is our health coach. So if somebody in particular needs help with food or lifestyle, those particulars, Trace is the expert in the office, and we rely on her greatly for that. So when we talked, her and I, when we talked about methylation, when we talked about greens and kind of what that meant, immediately what popped into my mind was this concept of methylation. And I don't know if this is new for most of you. I am going to attempt to share my screen. We good there, Trace?
Yep, it's up.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect. So problem is that there's little faces on the, there we go. So I want you to think of methylation as kind of the combustion of your engine, if you will. And it kind of sounds like I'm talking about a car, but if you think about how a car runs, you know, there's a bunch of processes and there's a bunch of chemical reactions that have to happen in order for the car to function properly. And so I want you to think of methylation. If you know a little bit about it, great. If it's a completely new concept, methylation is extremely complicated, and my attempt here is not to make you all experts in methylation, but to really break it down into some core concepts so that you understand what this is, how important it is, and then what happens sometimes when methylation can kind of go awry. And then, believe it or not, with methylation, a huge piece of this, which is how Trace and I incorporated the greens, is getting all of these nutrients and vitamins to help with your methylation actually through food. I will go over some supplements as well, because that's kind of what we do also, but remember that food is medicine too, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But remember that methylation is this kind of core chemical reaction that happens in every cell and every tissue of our body. Without methylation, nothing really happens. It's just kind of stagnant. So you need this methylation process, this kind of combustion, this chemical process, to activate enzymes and then to turn certain parts or certain vitamins into things that actually your body can use and your body needs for physiologic process. This MTHFR, this methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase, is the main enzyme activator, if you will. Without MTHFR, none of that really happens. So you actually need this reductase, this enzyme, to initiate this entire process. So methylation is responsible for cellular repair. So as your DNA gets damaged, as you start to oxidize proteins, I always explain to patients, oxidation is kind of like rust in the system. So cells are old, proteins are old, things are kind of needing to be cleaned out and turned over. So new cell growth. And so this is one of the functions of methylation, is to repair your damaged DNA, to reduce this oxidation. You'll see in red, I have what happens when we have problems with methylation. I'll go over that in just a second, so just stick with me here. Normal process is cellular repair, and then the second piece is detox and neurotransmitter production. So you can imagine if your body was not able to detox itself of toxins, insults, how sick you can become. And really, we see a lot of patients who are ill from methylation issues or detox issues. This is everything from like migraines to infertility to fatigue to fibromyalgia and chronic pain. I mean, this detox piece, and Trace talks about this a ton in her visits with patients. We really work with people, not only in detox, but then also just lessening your total toxic burden, whether it's coming from foods and chemicals in our foods, chemicals in our cleaning products, EMFs, chemicals in our cosmetics, all those things. So we really need, as an organic being, to detox well, and methylation is a huge piece of that. And then neurotransmitters, if you think about everything that happens from a neurotransmitter standpoint, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, oxytocin, those are all things that are super important. And I did want to mention, we talked about this in sleep. For those of you who were with us when we talked about sleep, I told you that the peak time of liver engorgement with blood and your neurotransmitter reset. So your liver is detoxing and your brain is detoxing, if you will, between the hours of like 10 and 2, which is why we always tell people to be sleeping around that time. And it's because this is the time that this is at its peak, this detox neurotransmitter piece. And then the third piece is healthy immune system function, which is on everyone's mind, not just in light of recent events, but really, if you think about diabetes and cancer and heart attacks and strokes, it's all immune system, right? It's all inflammatory. Like if your immune system is up and running, you are good. You are good. You've got the army behind you, and you can fight off viruses and bacterias and oxidation and inflammation. It's when our immune systems take a hit is where things go awry, and we know that. So in the red, you'll notice there that I put there MTHFR. There's something, an SNP is a single nucleotide polymorphism, and basically what that means is that there's a genetic piece that some people have where it actually impairs this MTHFR. So if you were deficient, or if you had this genetic SNP, we call it an SNP or a SNP for short, we know, and it depends if you have a 1 copy, I talk about that in a little bit. We know that you're going to have trouble with methylation, and so we need to focus on helping you with better methylation, more efficient methylation if you have this polymorphism. And how would you know if you have it? We can test you for it. So if you were a patient at Oasis, I know we're going to kind of run into this a little bit later too. I'll remind you all, but remember that we're trying to get these group visits up and running where there would be a group of you if you were interested in doing labs to look at some of these specific markers so that you can actually see, is this me? Is this something maybe that I'm dealing with that I don't know about? Okay, so I told you that this MTHFR, super important. It converts folate into a usable form for our body. And basically you have to have folate in order to be able to run through all of these processes. So you have one allele from both parents. And so when we say you have heterozygous MTHFR, that means you have one gene that's affected. And we know that if you have a heterozygous SNP, that you're already about 60% efficient with methylation. So you might need a little extra help with that if you were heterozygous. If you're homozygous, you have it from both parents. And we know that your methylation drops down to about 10 to 20%. So if you're in this homozygous, even if you're in the heterozygous category, you are going to have trouble with cellular repair, detox and neurotransmitter production, and immune system function, okay? So this is actually super important. It's one of the labs that I do. I know Dr. Ram does. I'm pretty sure Dr. Quo does as well. We do this as a part of kind of your physical, your kind of overall what is going on when we're looking at core, getting to the root core, the root cause of the symptoms that you're having. Because it really stops. I mean, this is a huge point of focus if we're dealing with somebody with a homozygous MTHFR SNP. Okay. So this is just basically what I said before. You have a harder time with detox. You have a harder time getting rid of toxins. Your body gets overloaded. And these are all those symptoms that or things that I was talking about before with headaches and infertility and fatigue. Lots of different MTHFR variants. The 2 that we really focus on with testing, you'll see here, this C677T and then this A1298. Again, we test for those routinely at Oasis. So, and then, okay, so I have a SNP, or what is this? And so, or is it just that I think maybe you don't have a SNP, but I think that you might need some help with methylation. And so some of the supplements here, folate, B12, glutathione is, I had mentioned it up here as far as detox. So it's one of the enzymes that your liver needs to detox properly. So we sometimes will supplement you with glutathione if you need it. NAC stands for N-acetylcysteine. It is the precursor to glutathione. So sometimes we will supplement you with NAC as well. B6, B2, magnesium, zinc, selenium, etc. If you had trouble with methylation, you took folate or B12, you would not break these down. We just went over that you don't have that enzyme to be able to do that. And so how do we support those people? There are methylated forms of these supplements that actually have done that. It has done what the MTHFR would be doing, and it would be breaking down the product into that methyl form, which is what MTHFR people, if you have the SNP, you can't do that. And so if you take a methylated form, it's already broken down for you. And then we still support you with the same type of supplements. That's methylated folate, methylated B12. Liposomal glutathione, again, means it's already converted. We're not depending on this enzyme to do that for you. And then this is a segue into greens, which is the topic of our talk this month, because believe it or not, you can get so much folate and B12 and glutathione and NAC and riboflavin. You can get all of these things through food, which is just amazing. And they're more bioavailable. They're actually transporting through your gut. So your gut has a little, your gut is responsible for absorbing a lot of these nutrients. So this was a segue for us into greens. And I just wrote a little list for you there, but Trace is going to kind of take you through some of the, how do you do the greens? How do you prioritize those? How do you actually cook with them? Some of the more hands-on, like logistical issues with the greens. So if you have questions about any of the methylation stuff at the end, when we do questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to help. But Trace?
And in April, we're really going to focus more on detoxification as well.
Yeah, huge.
For spring
huge
cleaning.
Topic. Yeah.
So thank you for bearing with a bit of technical stuff today, but it's part of what we do, like Kelly said. So it's what makes our lab special, and kind of gives you a little bit more insight into what's going on in your body. So. All right, so greens, I'll be honest, I was a little bit motivated by it being the St. Patrick's Day month when I chose it, but I also tell all the patients that 50% of their plate should be green. So green leaves at that. So it really is that important and a super powerhouse. And so many of us are missing out on that portion of our food. And normally I just do two, sort of what's in season produce items, but because we are focused on greens, I'm gonna dig way deeper. Like I said, I have my produce bin here to share with you. But just a little quick overview on a couple other things about greens that are so powerful. Super important for protecting the brain. All kinds of studies showing huge improvements in dementia and any kind of brain inflammation issues with having greens. Really great for bone health. We've always, we think of milk for calcium, but actually greens have tons of calcium, so super powerful. They lower inflammation and they help balance blood sugar. The fiber is super important for managing blood sugar, which is such an issue right now for chronic inflammation with so many people. And they are really great for our gut. So in May, we're going to do a whole talk on the gut. And one of the things that we're going to point out is that our microbes that support our healthiest cells love to eat greens. So we are not only feeding our cells, but we are feeding our microbiome as well. Our bacteria, our virus, everything that is already in our guts loves to eat greens. So really great for us. And then, of course, that supports our immune system because our gut is the home of our immune system. So really powerful and also really great for digestion for our enzymes as well. So that is why my food plate has the whole left side as greens for that reason. So let's talk about a few that maybe you guys aren't used to. I mean, of course, this is, the piece of lettuce is the one that we all know the most. It's probably the one we all see and eat the most of. But this is, and this is great. This is romaine. There's all different types of lettuces. Sure, lettuce is fabulous, but let's really expand our repertoire in order to really gain all the benefits. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with probably one of, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So this is a dandelion green. So this is a super powerhouse for our liver. This is the same green that grows, that people call a weed, that has like the dandelion that comes from it, but it is super bitter and our liver loves bitter green. So any way that you can add this into your diet is fabulous. It usually doesn't cost very much because, again, it's kind of like a weed. And so I don't tend to put it in salad because my children will absolutely reject because it is so bitter. So one of the things I tend to do with it is I put it in soups. or I will put it in spaghetti sauce or taco meat, and I'll just dice it really fine, and they have no idea it's there. So that's a really great trick for getting dandelions into your diet. If you like bitter, if everyone in your family likes bitter, you can saute them. So a lot of my greens I just saute, and the way that I entice my body to eat them is I use a lot of really good fat. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit into the fats right now, because that is the other really good way to make your taste buds want to eat greens, is to cook them in butter, good grass-fed butter, or ghee, or a good olive oil, or if you're really adventurous, you'll get an animal fat like this one I love. It's called Fatworks, and it's a duck fat. This makes everything taste amazing. And you can also do bacon, because that also makes everything taste amazing. So a really fabulous way to get the greens into the family is to use these really delicious fats. And then if you have something that's, again, really bitter, like your dandelion greens, you can use like a balsamic vinegar at the end, and it will just add enough sweetness that your family will enjoy it. So this is like a reserve balsamic vinegar, and it's almost like syrupy. So it's super delicious. I use this on Brussels sprouts, which we'll talk about the brassica family as well, but this is also great for any greens that are a little bitter. Like I have teenage boys, they do have like an ending point where they're like, Mom, we refuse, we're not eating it. But I can do like powerful things with butter and balsamic and such. So that's a little bit of a motivator to eat the bitter greens. Some of the other bitter-ish greens. So this is the top of a turnip. So these are normally thrown away, right? Most people just buy the turnip or the beet or the radish, and they don't eat the green. But this is a powerhouse of nutrition that all of us should be eating. So I saute these again. I hide them in the spaghetti sauce. I hide them in the taco meat, or I just serve them with good olive oil and salt or lemon or something like that. So don't throw away the tops. The only tops I throw away are the carrots. And it's kind of a bit out of laziness, because you can eat those, but you have to kind of make it like into a pesto. And so that's kind of the one I just don't eat, but everything else we eat. Like here's my radish. So this was a radish that we ate tonight, but I saved the little top. So I would even eat this. So all the tops of all the roots are filled with tons of nutrients. So very powerful. So that kind of brings me to, some of the other vegetables that kind of go in that family are chard and spinach. So these are the ones that are just easy to saute and add to soups, omelets, salads. Chard, although you wouldn't probably eat raw. Spinach, obviously you would. I don't have chard right now because it's not in season. I'm a stickler for seasonal eating, and I'm actually going to get into that a lot more in my practice because of the power of it. But our gut bacteria knows what's in season. It knows we're nature. It knows what it can digest at certain times. So eat in season. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's really good for the body. So let's move into the cruciferous family, right? Everyone knows kale, right? The very infamous kale. Some people love it, some people hate it. So kale can be rough on the stomach when it's raw. So that's why I think it kind of got a bad rap for some people. I always steam my kale before I do anything with it. It has a lot of oxalates, which can be rough on the body, especially the thyroid. So if you steam your kale and rinse it when you're done, you really break down the oxalates, and you have now a beautiful food to do a lot with. So I'll steam my kale. Sometimes we'll just eat it that night. Sometimes I'll make kale chips with it after I've steamed it, or I'll add it to something later the next day. But I'm always steaming my kale so that it's much easier to work with. So that's just kind of something to be aware of, because I know kale salad became really popular, but it can be really rough on people's guts. So try to cook your thicker sort of cruciferous leaves like kale and collards. So collards are, who knew, just the leaves of the broccoli or the cauliflower or the Romanesco plant. It's not a separate, leaf. It's just the part of the plant that most people didn't even know was actually growing. Because most of us are just used to taking the broccoli or the cauliflower, and we have no idea that these are actually occurring. So these are fabulous. You can steam them and make them as a lettuce wrap or a taco holder or a burrito tortilla type of thing, because they're so thick. Or you can just cut them up and saute them, depending upon what you're serving. They are a bit of a harder sell to the family because they are thick. They are dinosaur-esque. But again, when you bring out your tricks like your balsamic, your really good real salt, or the pink salt, and duck fat, then everything becomes much tastier. So yeah, just kind of cool. I was blown away when I found out that a collard green was actually just a broccoli leaf, basically. So there you have that. And then I think my last vegetable that I brought today is I can think of the name. Oh my gosh, no, it's escaping me. It's actually a leaf. It's a green leafy, and it's a member of the cruciferous family. And oh my gosh, watercress. Thank you very much. It's watercress. There we go. Thank you. I know, I was like, phone a friend, watercress. Yes. So watercress is this fabulous leaf that has the traits of both green leafy vegetables and cruciferous vegetables. So it's a super powerhouse for, all immunity. Specifically, the cruciferous vegetables get labeled as cancer preventative and as well. So plus all the other vitamins and nutrients. So this is a lovely plant to have around to bring into your house for salads. You can saute it as well. Great to have. So these are all amazing and just basically make yourself sing. One of the things about greens that we don't think about, that I recently heard that I thought was so powerful, it's like the earth's like gold coming into our bodies, because you get the benefit of the soil and all the minerals and everything that come up and grow through the roots. And then you get everything from the sun. So all the chlorophyll brings in the energy from the sun and creates this perfect food for us. And we've lost interest in it because most of the stuff we get at the grocery store has been sitting around for too long to have any flavor left. And then we forgot to use fat. And fat is amazing, and fat is good for us, and fat helps all our cells. So bring back the fat, bring back the yummy salt, and then these vegetables will actually be super enticing for us again. So the last little portion of the greens that I want to mention are the spices. So this is parsley, and then I also brought oregano and thyme. I do grow these in my backyard, so I'm lucky to have them. And these again kind of get ignored. Like this to me is like, in my house, this is lettuce. Like I just put it in my salad like lettuce, because it's such a powerhouse for our immune systems. Our parsley is an amazing herb for health benefits. And so, again, like I said, to me, when this is in my kitchen, I just see it as lettuce and I throw it in the salad just like everything else. We also make this delicious like garnish for fish or chicken, where we just cut the parsley with garlic and salt and maybe some olives, and it's incredible. So this is amazing to bring into your daily life.
Yeah, I just wanted to add how powerful those herbs are for detoxification of your liver as well. So again, how important that is. We're not getting into detox really tonight, but I touched on it a little. But the cilantro, the parsley, yeah, those herbs are super important for that phase 1 detox in your liver. So yeah.
Awesome. And then the oregano and the thyme have also a ton of medicinal properties, a ton of antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial properties as well. So the oregano goes great in burgers. It goes great right into your salads with tomatoes in the summertime. So all kinds of great things you can do with oregano. And then the thyme is just fabulous in soups, in roasting any kind of roasted chicken. And then the cool thing is, like, let's say I forget to use this and I just leave it in a bowl in my kitchen, then I come back and it's all shriveled up and it's dry thyme and it's ready to go. So I don't have to worry about, you know, it spoiling, which I love. So I believe those are all the items I have in my produce basket. We talked about chard. We talked about the cruciferous cabbage is also amazing. Bok choy is also amazing. And then beet tops. Do not forget your beet tops, along with your radishes and your turnips. All the beet tops are so full of nutrients. So those are amazing. And then I always talk about a couple of essential oils as part of our 2020 vision. So tonight I thought I would go ahead and talk about the oils for oregano and thyme, which are basically highly concentrated forms of all the benefits that we just talked about in using thyme and oregano. These are highly antimicrobial. They're really great. Like oregano is a first line of defense antibiotic for a lot of the doctors use in our office. It's that powerful that it should not be used indefinitely. It has that much strength. It's super hot. Thyme is also super hot. These are the kind of oils that help your body expel because they create heat. They're very sensitive to our skin and have to be used cautiously, but they're also super powerful. Thyme is great for cleaning countertops and disinfecting. Anything else, Kitty? Kitty's my coach in essential oils. Is there anything you want to add about oregano or thyme?
Just that if you're using oregano, I think you mentioned this, you want to dilute it. So
Super hot.
to your skin, you can put it on the bottom of your feet if you're trying to fight something off. Thyme is really very supportive to the body's respiratory system. So that's something to consider using. You see I have a diffuser on. You could add it to a diffuser with some other oils that you maybe liked the smell of a little bit better to make the smell a little more pleasant. But both of those are really, like Tracy said, powerhouse oils that you want to have around. They can both be taken internally, but you would take them in an empty veggie cap so that you protect your throat, you know, from that. You don't get that burning sensation going down.
Yep. And of course, thank you. And of course, you know, when we talk about oils, it's with the assumption that you're using pure certified grade oils if you're going to go down that road. So I'm happy to talk to you more about oils at any time, but we always highlight a few, and today it just made the most sense to piggyback on the spices that we were talking about and to show how powerful those can be, especially for immunity right now. So I think that covers the portion of the greens. I think we talked about all the different maybe new ones that you haven't thought of. Brussels sprouts are another one that's great. Microgreens are also fabulous. Those are the sprouts of a lot of these vegetables that we talked about. So a lot of different ways to bring them into your plate. Right now, the body prefers cooked vegetables because it is, well, we just moved into spring, but coming out of winter, the body does better with warmer foods. As we start to move into summer, the body will be more welcoming to the salads and the colder vegetables. It's one of the hardest things that your body does is warm the food. So if you're putting in cold food in an already cold environment, it's extra challenging for the body. So definitely keep up your soups while the weather is still cold. And then as we move into the warmer weather, then that's a great time to start using more raw vegetables. And soup is always a #1 way. You can put all of these things that we just talked about in a soup. And if you're the kind of person that likes a pureed soup, you can put it in a blender, you can use a stick blender, and all of those vegetables will just turn into this beautiful, delicious tasting soup with maybe an onion base and some butter base, and you would never even know they were there. So just kind of another really cool way to bring in the greens onto your plate, and maybe a little secretively if you have some finicky folks at your home. So yeah, so that is that. I guess we should really open it up for questions now. I'm guessing you guys maybe want to ask a few things. So let's see. Do you have anything else to add, Kelly? No, you're good? Okay.
Sorry, I was
So,
trying to mute. Yeah.
okay. So anyone want to throw out a question either in the chat or raising your hand? Was it so thorough? No one has any questions?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what?
Does anyone want to know where to get some of these vegetables?
I have a question.
No, go away. Go.
You love me?
Go. Yes, to teenagers.
Hey, Tracy, I don't know how to raise my hand.
Yes. Hi, Michelle. Oh, I can't see you. Yes.
Where do you get your balsamic vinegar? It looked like it said Napa Valley on it.
Yeah, you know what? This I got from Thrive Market. So that's the online grocery store. It's kind of like Amazon, but it's all like pre-screened, pre-qualified. So it's just, but you can find this brand anywhere. It's called Napa Valley Naturals, and it's Oakwood Aged Grand Reserve.
Sounds like wine.
Yeah. Versus, you know, this is just like a regular kind of more of a liquidy balsamic. And this one, like I said, it comes out of the bottle like syrup.
I have one other question for
Yeah,
you. On a lot of the balsamic vinegar bottles, it says, oh gosh, is it maple coloring or something like that?
Oh, it's possible. The caramel coloring.
Caramel, thank you.
Yeah, you would not want that. You would want it to be pure.
Yeah, because it's on so many that bottles, it seemed like they would be good.
Yeah, this one is not. Yeah, that's kind of like corn syrup and maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just concentrated grape must, cooked grape must, and wine vinegar. That's it. There's no coloring in that one.
Yeah, because in a lot of these nice stores,
Mhm.
they, you know, you think you're getting this nice bottle of balsamic vinegar and you look at it and it's got that.
The coloring, the caramel. Yeah. Neither one of these has that. This one is just cooked grape must and wine vinegar, and that's it.
And what was your other brand?
This one is Kitchen of Love. This is from Italy, and it's balsamic vinegar of Modena.
Oh, I do like that. Great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Trace, a little question there from Elaine. I think she's asking if they're going to get the recording. If they missed any of it, would we be able to send out the recording?
Yes, I am going to leave that up to Dr. Ram, how he's going to do that, but that should show up on the blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you
about the organic.
Yeah.
So, right. So, you know, the best way to get all of this food is to go to a farmer's market, because the kind of most exciting, best part of it is if it's recently picked, because the recently harvested food has so many more nutrients that if you're gonna have a little pesticide, it's almost better / okay if you know it's recently picked, because it's going to have all these nutrients that are going to help you detoxify whatever pesticide may have rolled in. So I'm just a huge fan. Like if you go to a farmer's market at like 1 or 12:30 when they're ready to close down, you can get amazing deals on these greens because, you know, they're the least purchased items because they're not so exciting. So you can end up getting really great deals if you have a farmer's market at all near you at any time. So the farmers markets are not closed in my neighborhood. There's one on Saturday on La Cañada, and there's one on Sunday in Montrose. So no, yours are, huh? Okay. So so at a normal store, I would maybe choose Sprouts first. They tend to get more of the locally grown produce. Trader Joe's, unfortunately, is going to have much more of the flown in from other countries' produce. And again, this is where what's in season is really important. So that's where you're going to have stuff that you know is recently picked because you know it's what's in season. So I would just look for that. You can probably, if you Google like what's in season calendar, you can find images on Google that will show you what type of things you're looking for each month, so you know what to focus on. Like cucumbers, I didn't bring those up because that's a summer, that's not even necessarily a green, but that's something you would eat more in the summer. So, you know, just whatever you can do to minimize your toxic load, but get the most in season, closest to homegrown food that you possibly can. The other option that I would recommend, yes, so I get it organic rather be in season. Yes, that's my first focus. Another really great option is a farm box. So every Tuesday I get a farm box. It's called Farm Fresh to You. Right now they're swamped, but they are still serving. And that way you know it's organic and you know it's grown local. And you can pick what you want in the box every Thursday. So every Thursday you get an email and you have until Sunday to pick what you want in your box, and then it arrives on Tuesday. That's what works. That's how my schedule works. And so a lot of the stuff I will get through that service. So that way I know that it's local and it's in season and it's organic. So it kind of satisfies everything. And it's always delicious. Like there's no rotten, mushy, like it's really good. Like my mom, basically kept eating carrots at my house and said, where are these carrots from? These are the best carrots I've ever had. And she became a purchaser of this box because she just needed to have those carrots because they were so delicious. We kind of gotten used to the ones in the bag that are empty of flavor. And so once you get back to the produce that's fresh and local, it's like a game changer. Tender Greens also now sends produce, but I don't know if it's organic. Oh, that might be great. That might be a great option, is to look into what Tender Greens is selling. Yeah. The produce box here, I'm going to put it in Farm Fresh to You.
Susanna, I just messaged you privately. Did you see my response? I don't want you to think we're ignoring your question.
Cool. Great. Did you answer? So MTHFR is.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but maybe, oh yes. Okay, I'll message you, Susanna, sorry.
I know myself, starting out as Dr. Ron's patient, that was part of my standard labs when I did have my labs done many moons ago. All right, so the recording, organic versus, yep, and doTERRA, yep. Okay, I think cool. You guys are awesome. So technically savvy, I love it. Very good. Anything else that you guys can think of as far as everyone's ready to go have like a yummy vegetable soup and like get all the greens that they've always thrown away and put them back in the kitchen?
Yeah, hi. I just can't figure out. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Judith. Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
great. Hi.
talk to us.
I have a question. I'm not sure that I'm MTHFR. And I was told that I had a cysteine issue, a homocysteine issue, and I was put on non-methylated
B12 and folate.
yeah, but I just looked at it. It's non-methylated, and at the same time, I was told that bone broth from two different professionals over a year, they said that bone broth would aggravate a homocysteine issue. Does that make any sense?
So high homocysteines can be from a variety of different reasons. It could be a B12 or folate deficiency. It could be if you have the MTHFR SNP, if you have the polymorphism, if you have that genetic piece, you could be taking all the folate in B12 in the world and you're not actively converting the enzyme. So knowing if your MTHFR, if you have that SNP, might be important. I imagine that they have tested you for that, Judith, because I know you're a patient of ours at Oasis, and it's a pretty standard test that we do, especially if you had a high homocysteine. So maybe you don't have the genetic SNP, and that's why you're not on a methylated form of B12 and folate. I can't speak to that 100% because I'm not looking at your results directly, but.
Well, this happened before I knew you existed.
Oh, okay.
I was going to my concussion doctor.
Okay.
And she tested and then put me on the homocysteine, and she felt I'd have to do it for a long time. I have to go back and see if I'm MTHFR.
If you have the SNP, yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea, especially if your homocysteine's high.
But what would bone broth have to do with it?
Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
Bone broth can sometimes be equated to histamine. It's probably a confusion between homocysteine and histamine.
Oh, inflammation from the histamine, maybe. Yeah.
But bone broth was like the original medicine. So I find it very difficult to tell anyone not to eat bone broth. So keep doing it. Bone broth is a powerhouse of minerals and amazing nutrients. So
I would rather supplement to offset what, and still do bone broth. I'm just curious about that. So my question is answered. Thank you.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. Very good. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of an inner practice together before we wrap up and talk about next month and group visits one last time. So everyone, I just invite you to sit in a comfortable position wherever you are and just relax and take a few deep breaths. And I'm going to lead us all through just a bit of an inner practice. So begin by closing your eyes and relaxing your body. Soften your gaze and release any tension you might feel in your body, starting with your head, moving down the neck and shoulders, down the spine, the hips and legs. Relax your jaw and gently rest the tongue on the roof of your mouth. Slowly become aware of your breath. And as you breathe, begin to fill not only your lungs, but also your abdomen. Connect to your breath and feel it all the way down the trunk of your body. Breathe in, pause and hold, and exhale, pause and hold. Breathe in, pause and hold, And exhale. Pause and hold. Continue with that pattern as you connect to your breath and feel your body relaxing. Breathe in, pause and hold, and exhale. Pause and hold. Now begin to become aware of your body. Maybe you have a sensation somewhere. Go ahead and feel that sensation and then let it go. Become aware of yourself in your body. Feel your arms and legs, hands and feet, and connect to your physical form. Really sink in and feel your presence in your body. And now begin to go a little deeper and imagine the cells in your body. Imagine the energy in each cell of your body as it works in harmony to create your beautiful being. Imagine those same cells being nourished by beautiful food, plants grown in the earth with built-in energy from the sun. Imagine offering your cells all the power and nutrients of the green plants we discussed tonight. Imagine how vibrant your cells are with so much of the earth's gifts. Now connect to that feeling. Feel it and anchor it in your body. Teach your body how good that feels by creating this awareness. Use this image of cellular well-being to encourage vitality in your body as you make your choices throughout each day. Love your body and all it does on your behalf each day. And finally, connect to your heart. Fill your heart with gratitude and light for this body you call home. Let that light fill your body. Continue to breathe in light. And on each exhale, send that light out into the world. Breathe in and send it out. Breathe in and send it out. Great. Take one big deep breath. And exhale out. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And gently open your eyes. All right, guys. Well, we finished a little bit early tonight, but we are, again, so grateful for you all joining us and to be able to continue to bring this work to you guys virtually. Thank you, Kitty, again, for leading us. Kitty will be definitely leading us for other months throughout the series, which is awesome. And we are unsure if we will be back at Surface for April, but if not, we will be on this platform. So thank you all for being here. And like Kelly said, we are creating a list, although right now it's a little bit tricky to create this list because we're not in person, but we are looking to make this format part of what we do at Oasis. So we are going to create a group visit format where we all work together similar to this, sharing our experiences, sharing real lifestyle things. What do we cook with? How do we do this? What is our MTHFR? I'll full disclosure admit to all of you that I have both SNPs. So that's something I've known for a long time. And it's something that I work with. So all this is what we want to make available to all of you. And the group visit format allows for an affordable way to be part of the Oasis family and get labs and work together and create new friends. So Kelly, I'll let you say a few last things.
Yeah. So awesome turnout. Super. I mean, 20, that's amazing. So hopefully this is kind of picking up some momentum, and hopefully you can continue to join us for subsequent sessions. As you know, I mean, this is basically what we do in a visit. We run through, you know, a bunch of content, and then application pieces is where sometimes we'll bring Trace in. And so just to piggyback on the group visit idea, to make an appointment, a 1-hour visit is costly and time consuming. And so the intent with the group visits is something kind of similar to this, where you're getting, you know, all of this great information, and we're looking at labs together, and it's not this huge time and economic, you know, commitment if that's challenging for you, and you're still getting the care, you're still getting the labs, you're still getting the content, you have access to Tracy and I. So yeah, I'm so inspired by all of you being here, because this is really just an idea that Trace and I had 6 months ago. And so it's really amazing to see everyone here, and hopefully this momentum continues. So yeah, thanks everyone. You guys are awesome.
Cool. All right. Bye all.
All right. See you guys.